Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Compared to traditional retail, e-commerce offers numerous advantages, including global reach, reduced overhead costs, 24/7 operations, flexible payment methods, and so on. With a projected market value of $29 billion by 2025, Vietnam's e-commerce sector presents a lucrative opportunity for foreign investors. But what are the legal requirements for foreign businesses entering this dynamic market? Let's explore with Siglaw Firm. First, let's talk about the conditions for foreign enterprises wishing to invest in the e-commerce sector in Vietnam. Foreign investors are allowed to invest in e-commerce activities in Vietnam, but there are specific conditions they must meet. The provision of e-commerce services is classified as a market access sector, with conditions for foreign investment. Foreign investors can engage in e-commerce activities in Vietnam through two forms: establishing an economic organization or investing via capital contributions, share purchases, or equity acquisitions. This means foreign investors can only operate e-commerce services as foreign invested enterprises and cannot engage in these activities through investment projects or business cooperation contracts. Now let's discuss the issue of market control. If a foreign enterprise holds a controlling stake in one or more companies within the top 5 leading e-commerce service providers, they must seek approval from the Ministry of Public Security for a national security assessment. So, what does it mean to have control over a company? A foreign enterprise is considered to control a company if it meets any of the following criteria: holds more than 50% of the total capital or more than 50% of the voting shares, has the direct or indirect power to appoint, dismiss, or remove the majority or all members of the board of directors, the chairperson of the members' council, the CEO, or the general director of the company, has the authority to make critical decisions regarding the business operations of the enterprise. So, how are the top 5 e-commerce companies determined? The Ministry of Industry and Trade publishes the list of the top 5 leading e-commerce companies based on the following factors: the number of website visits, the number of sellers, the number of transactions, and the total transaction value. If a foreign invested enterprise holds a controlling position within these top 5 companies, the Ministry of Industry and Trade will review the issuance or adjustment of their business license based on the Ministry of Public Security's opinion regarding the national security implications. It's also important to note that the market access conditions do not apply if the foreign enterprise is investing in small and medium-sized innovative startups. Now let's move on to the business conditions for foreign enterprises in the e-commerce sector. Under the 2020 investment law, e-commerce activities are classified as industries subject to conditional business regulations. Therefore, after meeting the conditions related to market access for foreign investors, enterprises must also comply with particular business conditions, depending on the type of e-commerce activity they are involved in. There are 5 types of e-commerce activities as regulated by Vietnamese law: e-commerce websites, e-commerce marketplaces, online promotions, online auctions, and electronic contract authentication services. Let's break down the specific conditions for each. If you're selling products on an e-commerce website owned by your enterprises, which has an online ordering function, you must notify the Ministry of Industry and Trade about the establishment of your website. For enterprises offering e-commerce marketplace services, that is a platform to facilitate transactions between merchants, organizations, and individuals. You must register the website that will serve as the e-commerce marketplace. Publicly disclose the website's owner and the terms and conditions of the marketplace. If the marketplace operates as a commodity exchange, you must also obtain a commodity exchange license. If your business is providing online promotional services, you will need to register the website offering online promotions with the Ministry of Industry and Trade. If your business is running online auctions, the registration process is similar. You must register the website offering online auctions with the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Finally, for businesses involved in electronic contract authentication services, you must register with the Ministry of Industry and Trade and obtain confirmation of your registration. Let's now look at the second scenario, where a foreign enterprise directly engages in e-commerce activities in Vietnam as a foreign organization. First, if a foreign business operates an e-commerce website in Vietnam, which uses a Vietnamese domain name, displays content in Vietnamese, and generates over 100,000 transactions from Vietnam in 1 year. In this case, the foreign business must fulfill the following requirements: register the e-commerce activities, establish a representative office in Vietnam, or appoint a designated representative in Vietnam. Second, if a foreign enterprise is selling goods through a Vietnamese e-commerce marketplace, it must authenticate its identity on the platform and comply with the terms and conditions of the marketplace. This concludes our overview of the e-commerce regulations of foreign businesses in Vietnam. Brought to you by Siglaw Firm. We are proud to offer comprehensive and optimal services, partnering with your business every step of the way in your investment journey in Vietnam. Siglaw Firm is an experienced legal service provider in Vietnam with expertise in investment, enterprise, and labor law. Over the years, Siglaw Firm has built a prestigious clientele with prominent names such as Lotte, CO Suite, Aliax, and Hai Di Lao. That's why you will always receive dedicated and optimal service when working with Siglaw's team of lawyers and legal experts. If you find this video interesting and useful, please give us a like and subscribe. Click the bell icon to receive video notifications, and we'll see you soon in the next video of Siglaw Hub.